Amy, next I want to talk about how you build that internal buy-in with your team to launch a VR pilot program for training. Our experience certainly is that no one person can carry this over the finish line within an organization. We've seen so many people come to us, reach out as an individual, and have the conversation just pretty much end there because it requires sign off from finance. It requires sign off from your IT team. It requires people to take time out of their day job to sample, to test, to demo, to be involved in kind of focus groups and such. And so when you're talking about new and emerging technology, we think it's critical at an early stage is to kind of identify that team, so to speak, that's going to be at your list of internal champions. And no program is going to be successful unless there really is one. You talk about that a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I've been to just sort of a bunch of conferences and hear like verbatim almost from people that we talk to who is like the single person within the company who's been tasked with trying to figure it out. And they just sort of go, yeah, I can't do this on my own. So I think it's really important. You are going to need some assistance from other departments, right? So you're going to need buy-in and assistance from IT, right? I mean, that's a given. It's a new technology. So you're going to need to talk to them in advance and say, hey, we've got this, project going on. I would like to have someone either, sit in on some of these meetings, or at least can I email them some information and make sure that they're involved from the beginning. You're going to need, legal, finance, purchasing, all of them in any sort of new project, new technology, they're going to need to be involved. So yeah, we typically just say, try and set up a weekly call, invite them all into that, make it 15 minutes or 30 minutes, keep it simple. Say we've identified a use case, here's where we're at. Try and think of maybe some of their objections, right? IT is always going to be concerned about security. Finance is always going to be concerned about costs, right? And so you really want to help them paint that picture of the use case that's solving the pain that's going to give you that ROI, right? It's never too early to bring ROI into the conversation, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It always comes down to that in the end. What we've seen is a couple, like one is education is a big piece of it. You need to have a team, like everybody has to be on the same level playing ground. We often see that an individual will go out, they'll do a lot of research and they'll be very versed on VR technology, and they'll understand a little bit about hardware, they'll understand software, they'll understand a little bit about use case, they've been to some conferences, but then they need to build a team to be part of the project team, and everybody starting from square one. So one of the things we have at Get Real is a seed package, which are small educational packages designed for groups of people to expose them to metaverse technology, expose them to the hardware, expose them to what some of the use cases are, not just training, but even collaboration, data visualization, other ways that you can use the technology, just to make sure everybody is on a baseline level of understanding, like what are we talking about here before we step in to go evaluate. The other thing I'd say is that's really important is like, who are really the members of that team? Sometimes, you're as a project leader, you're always going to want to grab that most senior person and then feel that like, okay, that's how I'm going to get the most energy and the most commitment behind an effort that I feel is going to be impactful for the company. In our cases, oftentimes, like that's not the best choice. Like those people, number one, are busy. They can't devote much of their time. I mean, everybody has day jobs here, right? So you need to kind of go down. It's not always the most senior person. It might not be the most important person in the department that you need on that initial team. It's people, again, we've talked earlier in the last segment around people who are comfortable with technology, who grew up learning, using phones, playing video games even, like understand the concept of kind of using controllers and having a machine in front of them to teach them or to take them through an experience. And so those people we feel are some of the best people to put on this internal kind of test and evaluation team. The time will come when we talked about ROI to bring that to the higher levels for sure. And I'm not saying that those need to be excluded, but to get a real passionate advocate group that's going to be engaged along the way in the process, it takes a little bit of time and some targeted thinking around who those best people are.